Hi, Dominic Seccaroli here with, usually I say Total Breakthrough, my ministry, but today I'm calling about an organization that has been the reason why I feel I've moved toward total independence, or moving toward total independence in my life. This journey over the last 6 years would not have been possible at all without the organization Olmsted Center for Sight. And the reason I'm here today is because, as I move around, I meet so many other people that either have vision loss or have been blind or are really dealing with other eye issues, and those concerns come up, and I know to them that surprise of, in life, when you lose your sight or even thinking about losing your sight could be very dramatic, and it could be life-changing if you don't know what to do if it ever happens. So I'm going to start by letting you know that Olmsted Center for Sight here in Western New York, if this video is reaching you somewhere around the country, there are organizations that you can be resourceful, and I'm sure you can find the Olmsted Center for Sight in your area. There are all different names throughout the United States, but just important that this is something you'd want to have as a resource. Everybody knows someone that's blind or visually impaired, or someone that has the fear of losing their sight for whatever reasons. I've had a friend that lost some of their sight because of surgery, somebody just over time. And as I share with them, I really encourage them to take advantage of all these resources. And so I'm going to start a little by just sharing a little up front of how I went blind, because you never know how that could happen. Mine is very unique. It was a surprise storm to me, and then I'll share with you the help I got, and then I'll share with you some of the things that I've been able to do because of all of this, on this journey, and all the things that Olmsted has done for me. So I was, many of you know that I am blind, and 6 years ago I lost my sight. I had a heart attack, 23 minutes with no heartbeat. And my wife was told in the hospital that I'd be either brain dead or dead by the morning. So after my miracle comes through, and I'm still here, right? I literally wake up and find out that I'm blind. And that was through lack of oxygen, through the fact that I had 23 minutes with no heartbeat. And when I wake up blind, obviously, after all I had gone through, I was in a coma for 2 weeks, it probably didn't hit me right away. But right after that, I started to think, and how we get bombarded with fear. And there were some thoughts about my life is going to change dramatically. So, after some miraculous things in the hospital, one of the, I always talk about my faith and miracles, but one of the things that had happened is that a friend of mine, Seymour Knox, actually had called Olmsted Center for Sight and talked to the CEO and president, which I'm sure that was unique, Tammy Owens. And, she had just started, I think 3 months earlier, with the takeover of Olmsted Center for Sight, and awesome, CEO and president of that organization. With that said, I ended up leaving from the hospital a few weeks later, end up at home, and there's a lot of things going through. Like, my wife had a lot of concerns. Her life changed dramatically too, especially when it came to benefits, or maybe my disability, or things like health insurance, hospital bills, all the stuff that she got bombarded with. But along comes Jessica, who was a social worker, caseworker for Olmsted, and totally relieved, with her awesome personality, came in and won me and my wife over, and really took care of all those concerns, of your medical benefits, and on and on and on. And it's awesome. And it's great when you meet somebody like that and have an impact on your life. she's someone I still keep in contact with today. Well, after that comes in Linda. And Linda was a vision rehabilitation services, and with that, those services. And what that was is that I needed to learn a lot of things around my house. I have a lot of just, how do I get back to normalcy? My wife probably appreciates this more than anything, because she actually taught me how to do laundry. She brought in gadgets so I can cook, know when I'm, that I'm not going to spill, my drinks, overfill them. And she helped me with cooking and, scanning things through apps. I have a scanner on my phone that actually reads mail, reads facial. It does all sorts of, it'll read, once I open my mail, it'll actually scan and actually read my mail to me. And you can read cans. It has a scanner for cans, and so I know what I'm opening up and all great things of that nature. But this year, which was really great, she came back and she actually showed me, I got a new grill, and she actually showed me how to cook on my grill. And they've got all sorts of great technology and gadgets to help you go through all that type of information. But the amazing thing was that she showed me how to use my phone. And if anybody knows me, I had a call center when I was earlier on. I was in network marketing, and I'm in ministries. It's all about people. The first thing that really concerned me more than anything in the hospital is that my wife actually somehow spilled salad dressing all over my phone. So when I woke up, I had no phone. So when I got a new phone and she was able to show me how to do emails and text messages and use all those apps on there, it was amazing. I can probably do more on my phone now than I ever did in my life. Matter of fact, most people that watch me on the phone, they go, "How do you do that?" And all I can say is, Linda. And just amazing. And there's so many more things that she helped me with, but we spent hours and hours and hours on my phone to know how to use it so I can actually do my the business I was still doing, and also my nonprofit. So really cool. Get to go on there and actually listen to books and actually Bible app and all sorts of great stuff. So then after that walks in Desiree, later on Aaron, but Desiree was my mobility instructor, and she was able to help me navigate my house and put things around my house to help me know exactly where I was. And today I'm so confident with how she taught me. I don't know if I advise this, but I don't really use my cane in my house, and I've got plenty of stairs. I've got so much confidence with my mobility that I move around my pool. I do all sorts of stuff in my backyard, and I've been able to, navigate my street, move back and forth to the park. She helped me because of my travel to do elevators and people movers and escalators, which were a challenge. And we ended up going to the local department store and went up and down escalators a million times until I was really comfortable on getting on escalators, because I knew I would need all that. And I'll share with you in a little while why that was so important to me. So, she actually shared me on how to go to, navigate my church. And then when it came to my son's wedding, my Vinny and Melissa, I actually, daughter-in-law, I actually was able to navigate the wedding venue. She took me there 2 days before, showed me where all the tables were, moved around there just in the beginning of the room. And I was able, because of that, I was able to go home and actually seat the first 120 people in that room that were family and friends. So as I moved around during the wedding, I knew where everybody was and exactly where they were seating. And so that was all because of, Desrian's help. She actually showed me how to navigate coffee shops and bathrooms, which everybody knows me. Coffee shops are very important, and because I always like meeting people. And so we did all of that. going to, like I said, the park, and just helped me to have the confidence that when Uber came out, that I was able to navigate down my driveway into an Uber, how to get in a car, how to make sure that people understood how I should get into a car and how to take control over those situations. And if you know me now, you know that I am, and if you don't, I am never home. I mean, I spend most of my time going somewhere, doing things. And this is all available to anybody that's visually impaired and blind. And unfortunately, I really believe, because sometimes I go places, you don't see a lot of people that are, blind, that actually are moving around as much as I am. So I'm really here to encourage you that Olmsted Center for Sight is to get you from your surprise storm to independence. And that's their concern. So, after Desiree navigate, I've been able to travel. I've been able to get on, with the technology that Linda showed me on my phone. I've been able to go fly by myself, navigate airports, get on escalators. I've been able to, get into a hotel room and figure out the room within about 5 minutes, so I know where everything is, the shower, how to use, how do you know the shampoo from the conditioner, all the things you need to do when you're away. Goes on and on and on, how to navigate down to the lobby in a hotel and navigate. I speak in convention centers and in hockey arena type places and navigate around those, obviously with the help of other people, but have the confidence to go up and down the stairs in an arena. Go to my office where I have 3 stairs and then 15 stairs that I, do, a couple times a week. And just the confidence that they've given me, the 3 of them, actually 4 with Aaron. And then because of all that, they actually recommended that I get computer training. And I've been able to get computer training where now I can navigate websites and do all my emails and Facebook and do all sorts of things. I can share on Facebook. I can post on Facebook. I can do all my text messages through our texting service where we text out, hundreds of people. So it's been pretty amazing as I look back now, because sometimes you can take it for granted where you got, but none of this would have ever happened without all the support that I've gotten from Olmsted Center for Sight. Now, right after I met those 3, right after that, in the beginning days, Tammy Owens, who is the CEO and president, came over to my house. And that was a surprise visit, and she literally brought over a video camera, and they actually shared a little of my unique story, and I was, grateful, and I just felt, it was awesome that, wow, the CEO of, the organization came to visit me, and, I just felt, it just really compelled me just to even move to even a higher level. And it just seemed like a short time after that, I met Renee, who is the senior vice president, and her and her team came in and they were talking about an event in Buffalo, which if you're from Buffalo, it's called Dining in the Dark, and it's their big fundraiser every year. So you can look that up next September. We just came through it. There was over 500 people there, and I have attended every event. And I actually, because of her and her team, I was honored to be able to speak at one of those events and had the confidence to be able to do that, because obviously when you're speaking, you have to figure out how to speak. And I don't do Braille, which maybe one of these days I will, but through technology and everything, I was able to put notes in a dictation device, which is similar to this here, and able to go through and, put notes together. So, and then they kind of, through all my training, was able to, train my mind on how to put bullet points so I can actually go and speak. And that was, the start of me going out now and being able to go and speak. I speak in churches, or I'll speak, do Facebook Live calls, and I'll go anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. And I've been able to do that, obviously without any notes, just through the techniques that I've learned. So it's really, 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 really awesome. And so then after I did Dining in the Dark and spoke there, I was actually asked, and I thought this was a great honor. And this just goes to show you how awesome this organization is. They asked me if I would like to be on the board. And one of the great things I've learned about the board is being part of it is, number one, it gave me an opportunity to give back. And obviously, you know, I obviously have a, you know, my reference, my preferences, I should say, is, you know, obviously always to keep focused on helping, you know, people that are visually impaired and blind. And that's why they brought me on. And it's awesome. But when you're working with the board, they are totally about just help people from going from whatever situation they're in, whether they're children, you know, that are born blind, to people my age, to the whole word. The only word I can share in there is that how to help people become independent. So that's been a great blessing for me to be able to come on the board. And so, you know, a few of the things that, again, in terms of what I do, you know, in the morning, you know, I'll get up and I'll be able to grab my phone. I'll be able to check my emails. I'll be able to respond to them. I can go on Facebook. I can share things on Facebook. I could post on Facebook. I can comment on Facebook. I could do anything anybody else does through the techniques they've given me. So I'm getting my day ready, you know, whether I go into the kitchen and I can now, you know, prepare something in the morning to eat. Last night I actually cooked, I made scrambled eggs and broccoli and with cheese, and I made toast. And I really believe I didn't leave too much of a mess, so I did a really good job with that through what they've shown me, so I could actually, you know, when nobody's around, I'll attack the refrigerator. So then, you know, when I leave the house, whether I Uber out or I get, you know, somebody picks me up, you know, I'm real comfortable with my Uber rides. And, you know, whether I go to my office or whether I'm, you know, moving toward the airport, I am just over time. And I guess the best thing I can share with you is that in the beginning, you might be frightful, you might be scared, you might be like, how am I going to do this? But if you just take all the help that's available through organizations like Olmsted and Center for Sight over time, it's a step-by-step, you know, step-by-step. It's like, you know, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. You just, you know, you fail forward. You've got to be willing. If you want to have a quality of life, you got to be willing to go out there and face your fears, because what they did for me is they turned my fears into purpose. Where now today, I feel like I've accomplished more in the last 6 years since I've been blind in my nonprofit and my ministry and the things that I do than I did in the first 15 years I was doing that. And it's, you know, at times I really feel like, I tell people sometimes I feel like I'm walking, like I can see in the dark. Like I don't even know I'm blind anymore. Like sometimes I got to be really careful because I start making moves too fast at times, and I really had to hold myself back a little because I do feel, you know, I feel really confident and independent. And so anyways, I'm going to probably kind of conclude here. So if you're someone that is visually impaired, if you're someone that's blind, or you're someone that's concerned about your sight, right now what I'd advise you to do, if you're in Western New York, look up Olmsted Center for Sight. And on this, when I post this, we'll post some information on there too. If you're in another city, look up, and I'm sure somebody can help you find the organization in your area that will do the exact same things that they did for me. I'm a little biased here because I think this is like the best in the country, but they will help you every step of the way. There is no reason, without Olmsted Center for Sight, I believe I would have been a bitter blind person. But with Olmsted Center for Sight, I am someone that is very excited about my future, about my goals, about my purpose, about my dreams, about everything. I've learned that there are people in the community, if they see that you're a blind, that they will come to your rescue too. They've made me very comfortable asking for help and very comfortable letting people know when I don't need help. So with that said, again, Olmsted Center for Sight, God bless you. Hopefully this encouraged you if you're blind, visually impaired, or concerned